Have you ever met a stranger who knew your name? Not only your name, but something about you that nobody else knew? Today, you are going to hear a simple and interesting story. Welcome to Chris Verse. If you are learning English, you are in the right place. Today, we have a new story in slow and clear English. Relax, listen slowly, and let's begin. It was a normal afternoon. A young woman named Alice was sitting in a small coffee shop.
She was drinking coffee and working on her laptop. The shop was quiet. There were only a few people inside. Then, a man walked into the shop. He looked like a normal man. He had a black jacket and a small bag. He bought a coffee. Then he sat at the table next to Alice. Alice did not look at him. She continued working. A few minutes later, the man looked at her. Then he said, "Excuse me, are you Alice?" Alice looked up. "Yes," she said. The man smiled. Then he said something strange. "I knew you when you were a little girl." Alice stopped. She looked at him carefully. "Who are you?" The man did not answer Alice. He slowly opened his small bag. Then he took out an old photo. He gave it to Alice. Alice looked at the photo. She was shocked. It was a picture of a little girl. The girl was standing in front of an old house. She was holding a red balloon. Alice looked at the girl again. "It's me," she said. The man nodded. "Yes, that is you." Alice looked at the photo carefully. "I have never seen this picture before." The man looked at her. "Your father gave it to me." Alice became quiet. "My father?" "Yes." "Where is he?" Alice asked. The man looked down. "I don't know." Then he said, "But he left something for you." Alice looked at him. "What did he leave?" The man took out a small piece of paper. There was an address on it. Alice knew that address. It was her old home. That evening, Alice went to the old house with the man. The drive was long and quiet. Alice looked out of the car window. She remembered her childhood. She remembered playing in the garden with her father. After 1 hour, they reached the house. Alice looked at the old door. She felt nervous. "This was my home," she said. The man opened the door. They walked inside. Everything looked old. There was dust on the floor. The room was dark and quiet. Alice looked around. She remembered her old bedroom. They walked down the hallway. The man opened a small door. Alice walked inside. There was an old chair near the window. She moved the chair. Then she saw something strange. One wooden board on the floor was loose. Alice moved it. Under the board, there was a small box. She looked at the man. "What is this?" He said, "I think your father wanted you to find it." Alice picked up the box. Her hands were shaking. She slowly opened it. Inside the box, there was a small key. There was also a blue notebook. And there was a letter. Alice picked up the letter. Her name was written on it. Alice. She opened it slowly. The first line said, "My dear Alice." Alice knew the handwriting. It was her father's handwriting. She started reading. "My dear Alice, if you are reading this, I am sorry. I wanted to stay with you. I wanted to see you grow up. But I had to leave. I did not leave because I wanted to. I left because our family was in danger." Alice stopped reading. She looked at the man. "What happened to my father?" The man was quiet. "I don't know everything," he said. Alice continued reading. Her father had written, "Please be careful. Do not trust everyone. There is a secret in the blue notebook. Alice looked at the notebook. She slowly opened it. There were many names inside. Some names had a red line under them. Then Alice saw one name she knew very well. It was her mother's name. But who was he? We will reveal that in the next part. If you want to see the next part, like this video and subscribe to Chris Verse. And tell me in the comments, do you want part 2?